Hey guys, what's up? I wanted to come on here and do a little methotrexate Monday chat since today is my injection day. A couple days ago on my Instagram stories, I asked people to ask me any questions in relation to RA or just life. So I had a few responses and I just figured I'd make a short video. So right after I finish this video, I'll go do my injection, but I wanted to pick my Band-Aid that I'm going to get this week with you guys. Actually, I'm talking to myself. When I post this, you guys will see it. And I'm really excited because I love Life of Pets. And I got 2 boxes on Amazon. They were on sale. I think there was only one left. So I had a big temptation and predicament of whether I should buy them or not. And they make me happy, so why not, you know? And yeah, we'll figure that out and we'll see what that is. But before I start answering the questions, I just wanted to point out one thing I'm drinking today. It's amazing. I got it the other day. If you guys have read in my posts, I got off prednisone after like 5 years or so, and I was always at a low dose. Since I was on it for so long, I think my body just freaked out and I started flaring again, so I had to get on it like sporadically. So yesterday I took 5 milligrams because I woke up, my surgical knee was swollen, and I was like, okay, this isn't funny or fun. So I'm going to take the prednisone again, calm it down, and it finally kicked in at 5 milligrams because the other days, these past few weeks, I was taking 3 milligrams, 2 milligrams, and wasn't doing shit. So I ended up just taking the 5 milligrams because my doctor said I could do that. And I slept so well last night. I did feel a little off yesterday when I took the 5 milligrams. Like I felt more anxious and I couldn't really focus. And I haven't noticed that in a long time with prednisone. And I was actually talking to a group of girls about this. So it was interesting to look back how my Sunday was. And then I'm like, whoa, because I didn't take it today. And I felt like I got a lot more done. But yeah, for having to deal with all that stuff this week, I got myself this thing called Moon Balance. It's an organic superfood mix, so you guys probably have heard of like maca, hibiscus, and all that stuff. But it's by a company called Your Super. Right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. And this is not sponsored or anything. I legit just saw it on the internet a few times. I did like a hormonal panel test and everything's kind of off for me. And yeah, so it's just a little raspberry lemonade type of drink. It's really nice. Okay, so let's start with the first question. What's your name? This was asked by a new follower of mine. Thank you for following. And so my nickname is Effie. My full name is Efsethia. I was actually named after my grandma, my mom's mom, who I never got to meet. She actually passed away at a young age. And my mom decided that she wanted to name me after her mom. And in my culture, it's not unheard of to name your child after your parents. I have a few other cousins named Effie, girl cousins. And sometimes at events, like in the past, not much now, but we would be like talking, hang on, if someone would say Effie, we all turn around at the same time. Some of her sisters decided to name one of their daughters Effie. They say that we kind of take from our grandma in a way, and the fact that she was very strong-minded, she was very tough. We have her spirit. So I found that really beautiful. Growing up, I didn't really like my name that much. I don't know if anyone out there has ever had a phase where they just didn't like their name for a short period of time. I quickly got over that, and I love my name. I'm so happy that my mom chose to name me after her mom. I think that's a really great honor. And growing up, it was just so annoying because my name in school, like thankfully I wouldn't be able to use my nickname, but like in certain forms, like that we would have to fill out the bubbles for each letter, I would have to do Efsethia Coleopoulos. And that literally took so long. Even if I didn't have to do that and I just said Effie Coleopoulos, during a test, for instance, I would have to spend like the first 10-15 minutes filling in those little bubbles. And then, so you'd be seeing these kids finishing the test. The teacher, I swear to God, like one day, he like praised this kid for finishing so quickly. I'm like, dude, he had like 5 letters in his name. Cut us some slack for us who have long names. So if you ever had to go through that trauma and then you like missed out concentrating on the test itself, well, send me a DM and we'll support each other. What do you take for your pain management? Okay, well, the number one thing I take is medication. I think that's my go-to. Obviously, I take prednisone as I have stated, but I am getting off that now, and if I ever do need it in the future, I'll take it like here and there, but I don't really like to rely on it too much unless it's an emergency right now. Turmeric is like my go-to. It always has been. I feel like the brands of supplements matter too. Voltaren gel is a really good one. It's over the counter now, so you can find it at Target, your local convenience store. That's really nice for like local spots that may be bothering you. It doesn't really last as long. Obviously, it's a topical, so with those, they kind of wear off after time, but I've been using it during my flares right now. And also, I think mindfulness, meditation, and prayer helps with pain management, but it's not really like something that I can say like, okay, well, I'm going to meditate, my pain's going to go away. I think it's more like helping to reduce the stress, and when your stress is reduced, your cortisol is reduced, and then your inflammation is reduced. So it's all kind of ties in together. So reducing stress is not something I take for pain, but it's something I do for pain. I'm probably forgetting something, but again, I just wanted to do a little short video. And then let's see what the next one is. How has it affected your social life? Well, right now I don't even have a social life because of the pandemic. So I would say like the beginning years were more impactful for me because I was diagnosed at 18. So no one around me, none of my friends or family members had rheumatoid arthritis. And I had to like grow up with that while everyone was growing up at the same time. So I found that really difficult, especially when everyone was going on partying, even a movie or going out to dinner. It was always having to be planned for me in certain respects because I was actually taking my injection in the beginning years with Enbrel and Humira on the weekends. And I did that mainly because I was in college at the time for the first like 4 or 5 years. And no one was home during the weekday. I didn't want to do it at night on the weekdays because I had school the next morning. And since no one was home, I didn't really feel comfortable because I was like, you know, kind of scared at the time still too, like if something was going to happen to me, you know, with all the side effects and stuff. But after some time, I changed my schedule mainly because it was a pain in the butt to like always have to do it on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. I had to go to a wedding or like there was a birthday party or my events that I was planning and hosting or anything just in general. Like the weekend, I wanted to enjoy myself, and I found myself having a lot of energy after Enbrel and Humira for some reason. Same with like methotrexate, but then after like a few hours to several hours, I would get really tired. And then especially if I would do it on a Friday or Saturday and then wake up the next day and I had to go do something, it ruined the whole day. Sometimes when I was younger, I would take my injection on Friday or Saturday and then go out with friends after or go out with my family. I feel like when you take your injection to relax, take it easy that day, and I'm not saying that I didn't. There was many days and weeks and months that I didn't go anywhere the days of my injections, but the times that I did want to go enjoy myself, I found myself having to like just go afterwards, which I had no problem with, but looking back, it might have not been the best idea, even if it was a few times. That's just my take on that. But yeah, I mean, it impacted me a lot in the beginning years because also a lot of people didn't understand what I was going through. Now that I'm older and I have a thicker skin, things that don't really bother me as much. And I think that as we all get older, friends and family alike, everyone starts to go through their own experiences. Some of us go through them earlier in life. It's just how it is sometimes. So I feel like as people start experiencing their own life situations, they eventually kind of understood more and were a little bit more empathetic rather than just understanding. You come into your own, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know yourself, and you don't really get bothered by if you miss out on going to a movie with friends or you don't do something that you wanted to do right then and there because you know that eventually you'll do it. I guess it's like that mindset of being younger versus when you're a little bit more mature, and you can handle these type of situations better because when you're thrown like into a diagnosis at such a young age, it's really hard to cope with all those things at once. Let's see, the last question, I think it's the last question. No, second to last question. How do you find your periods affect RA? When I start, I always get RA pain. Okay, I had these written down and I like scribbled it so I couldn't read what my handwriting was because it was really, really messy. But I'm really glad this person asked this. Thank you so much because this is exactly what I'm going through right now. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail right now because I'm actually planning on creating a YouTube video for this in depth. And this is one of the reasons why I got my moon juice. Okay, I don't even know where to begin because this is just such a heavy topic for me, but no pun intended. Since a teenager, I always flared the week before my period came, and then I would like feel inflamed, and the week I had my period, and then the week after I like felt like shitty again. So like I would have pain, then be inflamed, then have pain, and sometimes I would have pain and inflammation during my period week too. But I noticed that I had pain before and after, like more increased pain, and it was a different type of pain too. So it's really hard to explain right now, but I always told my doctors, like, I feel inflamed during my cycle, like, what can I do? And they're like, yeah, that's normal. Women with hormones, they tend to flare during their periods and stuff like that. They only recommended me to take like prednisone, ibuprofen, painkiller, which I was taking at one point a long time ago. I stopped that because I ended up having an allergic reaction. My upper lip swelled. They never really gave me a concrete answer of what I can really do. Really frustrating because it's not really nice to deal with RA plus your menstrual cycle at the same time. It's hell. I know probably a lot of men watching right now probably clicked off. I mean, this is a real thing. If you ever have a woman in your life who has rheumatoid arthritis, it's really important to understand this aspect of their journey because it's really hard. Up until recently, I started testing my hormones a little bit more. Like, I've taken cortisol tests to see how those levels are since I was on prednisone lately, and I did it before. They found that my cortisol, my DHEA is a little low, and my estrogen and progesterone is a little off. So that's, I mean, they say sometimes that can just already be existing anyways with people with autoimmune diseases and RA in general. It's hard to tell, but I know for sure that my cortisol was in normal ranges before getting on prednisone, and now it's kind of depleted a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I'm just working on balancing my body back into, you know, it's a normal state, and you're not alone in that at all. And I'm sure if any other woman watching right now who has RA or any other form of arthritis or autoimmune disease for that matter, because I know that I've talked to a lot of other women who don't have RA but they have something else, they say that their menstrual cycle tends to impact them as well and they flare. Comment below and give any advice you have. Do you feel more emotional since your diagnosis compared to before your diagnosis? I think I've always been the type of person to keep things inside if something bothered me. Not so much anymore now because I've learned to express myself and come to find that keeping things inside is not necessarily all that healthy for you. But I don't know, I feel like sometimes medication can make you emotional too. Like, I know, like being on prednisone, methotrexate, for instance, like can make you more prone to depression or anxiety because they have research that backs that up. Like the physical changes of the disease, I think that's also one part that's huge for me in regards to if I feel more emotional since my diagnosis compared to before. Before I didn't have the issues I have now. I didn't have to go to get screened for total knee replacement. I didn't have joint damage. I didn't have to worry about all those things. That is kind of like fed into my existence a little bit with the emotional and mental aspect of having to deal with the changes that RA brings, and that's the most difficult thing, where you may feel more emotional because you're grieving your old self or things that you may have been able to do easily and you can't do easily anymore. So I think in that respect I'm a little bit more emotional. Those are really great questions. I'm really glad that you guys asked those and I got to hop on here before my injection today. Keep on the lookout for YouTube videos in relation to these topics. My first video in a long time is going to be on this Thursday, I hope, if all goes well. But I'm going to keep it a little bit of a surprise what it's going to be. If you've been following me on my stories, you may have a good idea of what I'll talk about. It's going to be something fun. I want to do a little bit of a story time this time because I haven't really done those like verbally. I know I've done some little story times on my Instagram, but I just want to have some content that isn't all serious either because it's not what my channel is all about. I want to have it more inclusive to include different things. Now let's get to the Band-Aids. I actually opened one of the boxes. I'm not going to open the other one because I'm saving it. Let's see. I'm actually going to open it now. I usually open it after my injection because it makes me like really happy, especially if like I hit a wrong area and it bled out a little bit, which I don't really have a problem with, except last week it did. Or if it like stings or, well, actually if it hurts, it doesn't really sting anymore. Methotrexate doesn't sting. And that's one thing I love about methotrexate because first, you don't need to keep it in the fridge and you don't need to leave it out, and it doesn't sting like Enbrel and Humira did. That was really just unnecessary. So, okay, I picked my Band-Aid out. Oh, and then just one other thing. I don't know if anyone's a Bachelor fan, but I can't wait for Bachelor Mondays. That is something I look forward to, and I'm glad. One of the reasons why I moved my injections from Sundays to Mondays because I had like a little schedule where I would, you know, eat dinner, have some dessert, and then watch The Bachelor. And a couple tips that I want to share for this is to like eat after or right before your injection. I feel that helps with nausea and any other side effect Just think about it. Like if you're taking vitamins, if anyone takes supplements in the morning, like B vitamins, if you just take those straight, you're going to feel like wanting to throw up. If I take like B vitamins and all those morning vitamins on their own, my stomach hurts. Like it's just, you need something with these supplements and medications, I feel. So like that's what I'm doing now. I had my late lunch, my snack, and I'm going to do my injection, and then I'll have dinner a little later or whatever, and then have a dessert ready. I've always done that since I was like 18. That's like the first thing I did, because I do have a sweet tooth, so I felt like it really helps uplift you, but also having something fun to watch. And like The Bachelor, it's supposed to be really spicy, so we'll see what happens, but I'm looking forward to like having something to watch on Mondays. So right now I'm like Netflix binging on certain things. I got done watching The Indian Matchmaker, which was, I would recommend. It was really cool. And then I want to watch, I think it's called Back with Your Ex or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So let's see what Band-Aid I got. Okay. Oh, that's cute. You know, I actually forgot who this character is, even though I love Life of Pets. I don't remember who this is. Does anyone know? He's eating a little cupcake. Been like zucchini bread, I think? Muffin? I don't know. But hey. Okay. I mean, I was hoping for her, because she's like the cutest, I think. And the fat cat. Well, I actually got the fat cat last week, and it was eating a piece of cake, and actually had a piece of cake afterwards. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go do my injection. I hope you guys have a great evening or morning wherever you are. And comment below if you resonated with anything I said, or if you have any tips or advice for anyone else.